Greetings everyone and welcome. My name is Alfred, and in today's episode we're going to solve one of the challenges that we face when we try to loop through the data in jQuery and we want to do something after the loop has finished. But most of times we do not know exactly when the loop is finished, and we cannot depend on set timeouts to calculate the final loop. So in this episode, we are going to see one of the simplest solutions that we can use to achieve the same desired results. As you can see here, I have some inputs, and these inputs are dynamically created on this DOM page here. So as you can see, they have values. If I were to refresh this, you might notice that the values now has changed. And it means that we need to go through each one of them and calculate and add until we get the sum of all of them, and then we put that sum here. So here the idea is that I'm supposed to, if I were to change one of these inputs value here, I'm supposed to go through all the values or the inputs, getting the values and then summing it up. That means I have to wait until I get the last one so that I can sum, and only then I'll be able to get the correct data here or correct sum. Otherwise, I wouldn't know when the loop is ending, and I might get the wrong data if I am not sure that the loop has completed already. All right, so what I can do, I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you the code here. Actually, here I only have a data row class. As you can see, I have a row and I have a class data row inside that row, and then I have another input here, and this input is just holding our total amount. That's the sum of all the inputs we have. All right, and then I'm getting the data through Ajax here, as you can see, and then I go ahead and loop through the data and create an input and put a value on that input, and then I append that input object or input DOM element inside the data row widget or data row div that we had already created. And then here is the catch. So here I have to wait until all the necessary loop is gone, or until the nth index of this data, and only then I can just go ahead and call the calculate totals method or calculate totals function, and that function is right here, as you can see. And what happens here when I call the calculate totals function, as you can see here, I have a collection of those inputs that are printed dynamically to the DOM, and I'm putting them inside an array, and I call that array inputs. All right, and then here I define a total amount, which is initially 0, and then I'll be incrementing that total amount whenever I go through each object, get the value of the object or of the input, and then increment the total amount with the value of that input right here. Okay, and then what I have to do, again, as I said, I have to wait until all the iterations are done, and then I can go ahead and put the final value to the total amount input that we had already created. So this is, I find this solution very straightforward and very useful, so that we know at what time the loop is actually ending, and we don't go ahead and start calculating some other things or providing callbacks before the loop has entered. So this is what I wanted to show you in this episode. Thank you very much for being with me. I'll see you in the next one, where we will be tackling another kind of problem.